Pep Talk UK, Pro Beez, West London, in the ends. I'm delighted to be joined by a man that is working out, Mr. Dean Whyte. How you doing?
I'm all good, man. You know, we're just trying to get a little busy, health is wealth and all that. In these trying times, we've got to, you know, battle mental health and stuff and stress and depression. The economy's down, you know, the people's unemployment rate's down, and you know, that's impacting people's mental health and stuff. So the gym is the place to be, to let out your frustration and get yourself in good nick, man. Don't worry about COVID too much. It's there. We got to learn to live and love COVID until we get rid of it. But don't be scared. Get in the gym. You know, let the pressure and the stress out. And yeah, I've done a bit of cardio, did a bit of weights. Let's follow me. Let's just finish it up and that.
And I'm thinking you're getting ready for a new weight division announced by the WBC, man. Super Cruiser.
I'm too big for super. I'm like super heavyweight. I think I'm about 148 kgs, you know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's like real. We're talking about that real heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? That's just a bit past the prime, and I think I passed the prime and the primer.
If I told you I was a welterweight, would you believe me?
Fuck off for you, fucking welterweight.
Talk to me, man. The weekend's just gone. We've seen a unified and undisputed lightweight champion, shall I say, in Teofimo Lopez, do the business against Lomachenko. What did you make of the result?
Do you know what? That was history in the making. Undisputed youngest champ. I mean, it was a good fight. You know what I mean? Look, Lopez done what he had to do. Went out there, boxed to a great game plan, and what you got to look at in that fight is the focus. He didn't switch off at all. Later on in the round, as it went on, you saw the wizard, which is Lomachenko, came on, and he put immense pressure on Lopez, but he held it together. And yeah, he managed to churn out the win. And you know, as a true champion, in the 12th round, he knew it was a decisive round. And sometimes, to get the belt from the champion, you have to stamp your authority on the 12th round. For those of you that don't know this, don't try and cruise to a victory when you're trying to win a title from someone, because it's not enough. That 12th round was a deciding factor, and because of the pressure, and because that he showed his war, he packed my chest. Let's go, man. Let's get it. Let's get this work. And he was bringing the fire and the smoke. And that's what you've got to do. You can't try and cruise yourself and say, run around putting your hands up before the bell's gone saying you've won. It's not enough. If you want to be a real champ, either try and stop them or try and bring the fire until the fight is done. Do not try to cruise to the line. You will come uncruised and you will lose or get a draw. There's been terrible judging decisions over the last few weeks. Even on the weekend, a lot of people are screaming about, is it Mboza, one of them, and Ritson decision and a few other things.
Vasquez, yeah,
Vasquez, and no, is it Mboza? I don't know the gentleman's name. He fought on the matchroom card, the young black kid. I think they gave him a draw.
Okay,
I can't remember. And they said the decision was, dubious or whatever. But you saw the ref was on his phone and stuff like that, not paying attention. But listen, I don't know. Sometimes the whole fighters get the nod, and if you get a draw, you probably ended up losing to get a draw in the first place. So you got to kind of make sure you put it all on the line and try and go and do what you can do. You know what I mean? But don't cruise, because you'll be ending for a bruising when you're cruising.
What do you make of Lomachenko's comments that he thought he won the fight against Lopez?
Is that what he said? I don't know. That's a bit weird, isn't it? But listen, a champion's always going to think that. He started too slow. There was he made my man gather momentum. He had like about, I think the first 5 rounds, I think we had him winning. Lomachenko wasn't doing anything.
So as far as you're concerned, Lomachenko started way too slow.
Listen, it was a close fight, especially in the later rounds, innit? Some people said they had it a draw. I didn't actually have it. No, I didn't have it a draw. I felt like, Lopez's IQ was great. His jab was amazing. I felt like Lomachenko underestimated the speed of Lopez. Obviously coming up from the lighter weights, him trying to be the smaller man, he probably felt it was a lot faster. But my man was jabbing, going to the body and doing the right things. He kept the pressure on it. Listen, he boxed to a great game plan. They had the numbers. Even when Lomachenko was trying shit, he kept turning, he kept pivoting and turning the angles at the same time. You know what I mean? Because what happens is some of these guys, they let Lomachenko turn them with angles too much, and they get lost and bamboozled. He wasn't allowing none of that to go on. You know what I mean?
Teofimo was talking about Lomachenko being basic.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Listen, obviously we're drumming on about amateur pass. Obviously this is professional boxing. He was an outstanding amateur, probably one of the best to ever have done it. You know, you're talking about 96 fights, 1 loss. It's crazy. 2 gold medalists. Listen, something like that, you're probably never going to see that kind of feat again. In the pro ranks, he's gone in there early and gone and won world titles at 3 weight classes. Yeah, again, he's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. But you know what the problem you have is when they start mixing and talking about Floyd Mayweather, Colonel Whitaker, Crawford, you know, him being the pound for pound best. When you've got people like Canelo and you've got Crawford there who's unified champs and done amazing. And then he's only had 15 fights now and they're talking about, he's the best thing since Muhammad Ali and so on. It's a bit kind of a bit of a kick in the tooth and degrading to those kind of guys. Listen, the guy's a genius. He's done great at what he's done. But listen, the past, you can't compare him to guys that have been here and pioneers in boxing and leading and doing what they've done. Like I said, I feel like for me Crawford is the pound for pound number 1, and then you probably have Canelo as a close second. If you're talking about generating money, business and the whole thing, then if you want to do that, you want to put Canelo at number 1. And obviously what he's done in his career, obviously he's only lost to Mayweather, and other than that he's got better and better over time. So, you know, I'd put those 2 at the top. But for me, in terms of skill set, Crawford's a beast. He can switch hit. He unified the lightweight division and then he went up to welterweight. There's big fights for him to make there. Listen, every fight is not going to be easier and a breeze for people. I know people are talking about the fight he had with the Eastern European guy, but that guy was an Olympian also. He was a top athlete. He was a top amateur. So it's kind of like people say, listen, it's better you get an ugly win than a pretty loss. I always will say that, you know, people talk about winning pretty. Sometimes you're going to have to dig deep and get an ugly win and assess your situation and say to yourself, all right, what can I do? What can I do different? And where can I, you know, rectify things and stuff like that? But I mean, I don't know, listen, the game, listen, there's loads of critiques, everyone knows best, and they're on their couch eating crisps, drinking alcohol and not taking the licks in their mouth like these men are doing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know. Even me, look, I'm talking about it, I'm in the gym. I'm lifting up some lightweights, talking about man who's getting their mouth thumping, and them man is getting real money. But I know what it is to get thumped in your mouth. I'm training every day, I box with my boys all the time. But what I'm saying is, I respect these guys. I respect the sport of boxing. I respect what it takes to go in there and be an elite athlete and go and put everything on the line. You know what I mean? Some of these boys lose their life in there. But yet again, going back, he's one of the pound for pound greats, Lomachenko. Now we're going to have a defining. Lopez has gone into that argument. Lopez has gone into that same picture and equation, and now I'm sure he should have changed faces with Lomachenko. If they're saying he was the pound for pound number 1, now I hope they keep that same energy, remove Lomachenko and put him as that then. Because obviously, Bob Arum and all these people was drumming on how he's the next best thing since sliced bread and way and cow fat and Halstead and all that kind of thing. Let's see if the same energy is given. But for me, Crawford is the number 1. Canelo.
Well, officially, Crawford is number 3 in the latest Ring Magazine's pound for pound rankings.
Who they got in front of him?
Inoue, number 2, and Canelo at number 1.
The monster's good. The monster's good. But is he technically better than Crawford? Hell no. The monster's good though. When's he fighting? Ain't he fighting soon? I thought he was fighting soon.
He's fighting soon, yeah, for 100%.
Yeah, we did an interview with Jason Malone, and he's a man that's got, I think he's 24 fights, he's got 18 knockouts. He's very confident. So let's see. You know, look, at the end of the day, look, I think Donaire showed like the blueprint and how the pressure, and obviously Donaire's a big puncher, and he showed about Inoue. And he nearly brought it to fruition. He nearly got him out of there, and he took his foot off the pedal, and he let the young buck escape. But look, that was a great fight. If you want to go back and watch a fight, that was a great fight. Inoue's a monster. I hear what they're saying. I wouldn't have it like that. I would have Crawford number 1, Canelo number 2, Inoue around there, and Fimo, Lopez, somewhere around that argument because of the career-defining win, and because obviously everyone had Lomachenko as like at the top of their pound-for-pound list. You know, he had some good wins, but look, out of his 15 fights, he's lost twice. You know what I mean? I feel like probably he should really go back down to the divisions where
130.
I think he should go down. It'd be better for him. I'd like to see him against maybe Devin Haney, against Shakur Stevenson. Those guys, you know, talking some real smoke. So, you know, big up Devin. I like Devin and his dad. Hopefully, you know, that'd be an interesting fight to see. But yeah, I'd like him to fight Shakur maybe and see. I think he'll better suit. Look, he's gone up against a guy who's a bigger frame, bigger, stronger, and with just as great as IQ. Maybe, you know, some would argue, as him, but he got outfoxed on Saturday night, you know what I mean? Not much, but what I'd like to see, if truth be told, what I'd like to see is him start a lot earlier, and I think we might have a different kind of fight on your hands. Because look, if you start fighting after like, 5 rounds or 4 rounds or whatever you have, it's a bit weird, you know what I mean? You got a big gap to kind of make up, and I think that was his problem. I heard that he was downloading information. Hey, good luck to the downloading information. You know what I mean? The data's still downloading. I think my phone says it needs.
Well, a lot of people said that about Mayweather as well. He used to try and download the information of his fighters in the first couple
Mayweather
rounds.
ain't giving you no furlong in no fight. You know what I mean? Mayweather had a good jab and he used it and he jabbed it, stuck it to the body. And he done his thing. Mayweather wouldn't give you 5-round head start. Remember, going from Pretty Boy, he was a big puncher as Pretty Boy. When he went into Money Mayweather, it became about money and smarts, ring generalship. If he got the stoppage, got the stoppage. But it was about the business and branding and marketing and just getting the win. And sometimes
taking no punishment.
Exactly, hit and not be hit. And that's the best way. If you can do it, try not to get hit as much and get this scratch. You know what I mean? So
you mentioned Terence Crawford.
Yeah,
it's been announced he's taking on the special one, Kell Brook, November the 14th, out in the States. What'd you make of that fight?
Hard fight, very hard fight. You know, but look, at the tail end of the career of Kell Brook, you know, he's trying to secure the bag. He's trying to secure a legacy. So he hasn't got any, you know, big fights, that much fights in him left. Obviously, the Khan fight is always there for them, and that's big money waiting. I don't know what happened with that. Khan didn't, maybe, obviously feels he's the bigger star, and Kell feels he's the bigger star. So that fight never materialized. And then when you look at it outside, you're thinking, you know, what other fights is there for him? He went up against the monster Golovkin, came up short, and now he's got opportunity to go and make quite a bit of money. So let's see what happens. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. I think Crawford might be a little bit too much for Kell, but Kell's good. Kell's strong. He's got very good boxing brain, got a good jab, and he's a solid fighter. So it'll be an interesting fight. Let's see. I think it probably goes the distance. We'll have to see.
You feel like Terence Crawford needs that signature win on his 147 record?
Yeah, but that's not going to be the signature win he's looking for. Terence Crawford's from America, so if he wants a significant win, or what he's looking for, he wants to fight Earl Spence and the likes of those kind of guys, maybe Sean Porter and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Let's see.
Just to conclude, Anthony Joshua announced to fight Pulev.
Yeah.
December the 12th, probably the worst kept secret in boxing. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
What do you make of this fight?
Pulev's good. He's been a mandatory for a while and he's sat on the sidelines. He's waiting to cash out. He's been waiting. He's not fought for many years, just waiting to cash out. You know what I'm saying? He's a decent boxer. He's decent. Obviously, he's got pedigree. Do you know, I did hear though that he was injured. I don't know how true that is. That he's injured and Charles Martin might step in. I don't know how true that is also. But listen, I think that Anthony Joshua lost against what's his face?
Ruiz Jr.
I think sometimes you need a significant loss to bring you back. to make you reevaluate and stuff like that, and then sometimes you come back and you rebuild and you assess everything. I think he's had that. He's had his loss. He's had his time. I can't see Pulev being able to do anything. The movement I saw against Andy Ruiz in Saudi Arabia, I can't see Pulev even being in the same ballpark and being able to do anything in the fight that's going to help him. I think he'll get outboxed, outfought, outfoxed, and then stopped.
Finally, I haven't had the chance to catch up with you about the trilogy being No More, and that was announced last week. What'd you make of that? No Wild and Fury part 3.
I don't know. I don't know if it's even true. How the hell is Wilder gonna say to himself, I'm gonna get rid of so much money? How does that even make sense? There's a lot. Them boys are making something like 15 plus, 20 plus mil. Why is he gonna say, I'm gonna turn that out? Win, lose or draw, you're gonna get paid. Why would you turn that down? It's career defining money for your legacy, for your family, to change things for your whole generation, for your kids and their kids and their kids. So for me, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's a bit strange, but I reckon, I got a feeling we're gonna hear the other side of the coin. We're only hearing one side at the minute. We're only hearing Frank Warren, Bob Arum, and Tyson Fury's side. So let's see what actually happens, you know what I mean? Yeah. Hopefully, I do hopefully the fight gets made, but it's looking like Tyson Fury's gonna fight December the 5th. So let's see, you know what I mean? Interesting times, man. Hopefully he picks a hard fighter. Hopefully he picks someone decent. But I want to see the trilogy because Deontay Wilder's been very, very quiet. Sometimes that means a man's focused and they're determined and they're putting stuff together. Or sometimes maybe their arsehole's just gone and they're keeping their backside quiet. But hey, listen, I don't know. But it would be interesting to find out what he's been up to.
Hey, if Dillian gets through Povetkin unscathed,
no, he must get through Povetkin. It's a hard feat. You know, listen, you can't write off the old dog. He pulled out of a hell of a shot at the fight, and I've watched it back recently. He's done some really nice stuff in there, Povetkin. You know, that's why he was a former Olympian. That's why he was a former world champion. But you know, I feel there's small adjustments Dillian needs to make. Having watched it and assessed it now over a couple of occasions, I can see what he needs to do. I'm sure him and his team, you know, are going to be looking and assessing. I spoke to Zab the other day, and they're working on stuff. He was chomping at the bits. He wants to get back in there and do the job. He's got a hard task again. Obviously, he was beating him, but then he got caught, and then he got knocked out. So, you know, you cannot write off the old dog. It's definitely a hard fight. Some would say it's a crossroads, you know what I mean? If you don't win, they look at you like, hey, where do you go? You know what I mean? So, Dill needs to be on his A game. He needs to come back and get redemption and seek retribution and get the W. However it comes, motherfucker.
Just finally, you know, I was going to say that should Deontay Wilder step back in the ring and Dillian Whyte gets past Povetkin with no problem, a lot of people
that's
like
an amazing
that
fight. A lot of people like that fight. Yeah, I think that's a good fight as well. You know what I mean? But Deontay Wilder, listen, he's the bronze bomber, man. That big old Alabama power is dangerous. So yet again, we still have to look at that as well now. You're going to have to negate that big old right hand. But I mean, listen, Tyson Fury showed the way to beat him. Dillian's mentioned it for years. Not only now that he's mentioned the way to beat Deontay Wilder was put him on the back foot because he can't box on the back foot. And look, Tyson Fury went out there and done it and showed exactly what you need to do. So listen, it's all good talking from outside, but Tyson Fury went and done it, and now he's lineal champion, WBC champion, and history defining. Another moment for this year. We've had a real topsy-turvy year. It's been up and down with all this COVID and all this bullshit, but there's been some mega moments like Teofimo Lopez the other day, the beatdown Fury gave Deontay Wilder. So, you know, we can say that, you know, and some of the UFC fights. Adesanya, I love the UFC, but I thought I'd throw that in the mix for you guys who do like it, MMA and UFC. So I mean, there's been good moments, but in boxing, those are the two standout moments. Let's see what happens December or November 1st with Dillian. Then you've got October the 31st. Let's start from October the 31st. Usyk versus Chisora. Look, his countryman just got beat. Hopefully we can back it up with a double. Chisora gets him out of there. We'll see if he gets the opportunity. Then we've got Povetkin Whyte. That would be a second one, and then Joshua in December on the 12th. If we get a hat trick for the English guys, heavyweight divisions back on, fully focused going into a 2021 thrilling year, and all the fights to be made up and matched up again, and all the dreams that we all spoke about and believed about in the UK, gassing up our fighters, are back on path to do great things in the world of boxing. Tune in.
Mr. Dean Whyte, thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.
Pep Talk, Pro Beezy, we out, show.